Hey there again. It's been a few days since my last entry on this, but I did want to share something with you that came up this morning. I've got something I'm working on, how I want to phrase it and how I want to put it together on Matthew 10 and 11, kind of summarizing those two up. But on Matthew 12 this morning, I was reading in the first 8 verses, and it talks about the disciples and Jesus were walking through a cornfield on the Sabbath day, still not against their laws, that the man-made laws that they had added to the scriptural laws. Yes, the Mosaic laws. But the disciples, God forbid, chose to eat some corn. They were hungry. They ate some corn. And the Pharisees just jumped all over Jesus and said, "Hey, what's going on here? Your disciples are picking and eating corn on the Sabbath day." And he said, "But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple." He actually references an answer to them about David, how David entered into the house of God, how the priests on the Sabbath day and got food, how the priests just regularly violate the Sabbath rules that they've come up with and eat, from the house of God on the Sabbath day. So he's saying, "I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, ye would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath day." If you remember, he used that exact same phrase, and it's a quote, actually, from Hosea chapter 6, where earlier he was eating at the table with some of the wicked, wretched sinners. And the Pharisees said, "Hey, what is your master doing eating over there with those publicans? Doesn't he know those guys are pure evil? Their job is to be evil." And he overheard them and said, "I will have mercy and not sacrifice." In that case, he was talking about mercy on their souls, how that is so much more important than obeying some rule. That being said, in this section, he's talking about mercy on their bodies. And he's also talking about a group of believers. So he was talking in the first situation about non-believers and the mercy that God shows to them and how important it is that we reach them. In this case, he's talking about your brothers in Christ and how, it's more important that we have mercy on fellow believers than that we obey some specific little rule. Now, 2 things with that. I would be remiss if I told you can just pick whatever rules you want to disobey and say, "But Jesus said I would have mercy and not sacrifice." No. You follow and you obey the rules. The problem the Pharisees were having here is they were trying to enforce the rules on other people and trying to teach these rules to other people without first themselves understanding God is a God of love and mercy and holiness. They were all about the rules. They weren't about the love and mercy. And that's who Jesus is. He said, "I would choose that you had mercy rather than that you went and you committed all these wonderful sacrifices to me. I will have mercy and not sacrifice." Looking forward to the next section I have here, talking about God's yoke and how it is so much better than any yoke you or I could ever choose.